Welcome to Brief Histories. I am your host. When do people spend $6.9 billion on candy and costumes? No, they don't spend it on Easter or Christmas. That $6.9 billion is spent for Halloween. So where did this expensive holiday come from? Well, one must take a look back at the 10th century. Halloween has its origin in the 10th century Samhain festival celebrated by the Celtic people in Ireland and the British Isles. This festival marked the beginning of winter, but it was a time when they believed that the ghosts of the dead would come across from the spirit world. They thought these ghosts would damage the crops and cause harm. In response, the Celtic Druids built large bonfires and would perform sacrifices to their deities. Then the Druids would use divination to predict the future. The Celtic people would dress up in costumes and tell each other's fortune. These costumes were thought to make any wandering ghost mistake the wearer as a fellow ghost. Now let's jump forward to 43 AD. By 43 AD, the Romans showed up and conquered most of the Celtic lands. But by then, two Roman holidays got mixed up into the Celtic Samhain traditions. These holidays being the Roman Day of the Dead, and also their day to honor their goddess of fruit, Pomona. The tradition of bobbing for apples on October 31st is thought to come from the Roman mixing of the goddess of fruit Pomona with the Celtic tradition. Now let's jump forward a few hundred more years. Pope Boniface IV creates All Martyrs' Day, which is later changed by Pope Gregory III to be held on November 1st. Later, the Catholic Church makes All Hallows' Day on November 1st, and then All Souls' Day as a day to honor the dead on November 2nd. Because All Souls' Day and All Hallows' Day were celebrated very much like the Samhain festival with costumes and bonfires, it was viewed as an attempt to replace the Celtic festival with a church-sanctioned festival. The name All Hallows' Eve eventually became the modern name of Halloween. Jump forward a few hundred more years. Around this time, the practice of souling came about, where people baked a cake called a soul cake and would go door to door saying prayers to commemorate the dead. The Catholic Church hoped this would replace the practice of leaving food for roaming spirits. This is considered part of the origin of trick-or-treating. If we skip forward a couple hundred years and cross the ocean to America, we find that Halloween was not celebrated in the American colonies and later in the United States. The Puritans which came to America strongly opposed Halloween, and it was not recognized or celebrated widely. It wasn't until the mass Irish and Scottish migration in the late 1800s that Halloween celebrations had a significant presence in the United States. And it wasn't until the beginning of the 20th century that Halloween celebrations occurred all across the country. Now what do you think? Can the past origins really be separated from the present? Is it just money and scary fun driving Halloween, or is there something more sinister behind the festivities? Until next time.